Hello, beautiful souls out there. I hope you're able to get out in nature like Starlight is. Woo! Whoa, where? So yes, hello everyone. I love you so much and welcome, beautiful souls out there. And I hope you're able to get out in nature like Starlight is. And what a beautiful night. And this is close to Starlight's, getting ready to eat her dinner time. So this is a beautiful time of the night. So anyway, I love you so much, and thank you, thank you, thank you for all of you being here. And let's send some love out to some people out in the world today. This is a great time to send some love out in the world. First, starting with yourself and your family, and then everyone else. So I love you so much, and also thank you, thank you, thank you for all of you who have been here loving and supporting Starlight. Thank you for watching my videos, giving me a thumbs up, subscribing to my YouTube channel, leaving me a comment down below, or even leaving me a comment, or even sharing my videos. Thank you. And Starlight has been getting bit up out here by some invisible bugs. So anyway, right now I just want to reach out to you on a topic, but before I do that is if anyone would like to send any love donations, you can through my Cash App, and you can do that through my YouTube channel, and I will have the information here. Ping, there it is. And also, before I start this video, hello, my name is Starlight. Welcome to my YouTube channel, and you can find me on YouTube, and that is at Starlight, and that is Kathy with a K Dingman. Plus, don't forget you can subscribe to my YouTube channel, plus give me a thumbs up, and you can also leave a message down below, beep beep beep, and you can share my videos with your family, your friends. Don't forget to ring the notification bell, and you can check out my playlist. Plus you can find me on Instagram at 1995 Starlight, or on Facebook, and that is Kathy with a K Dingman Starlight. All right, so today is the title is don't go for the bait. This is it might sound crazy, but don't fall for the bait. Is right now there's a lot going on in the world, and a lot of you might fall for the bait, and because like with COVID time, they want to put fear out, they want to control you. And some of you might already been like this for a long time, like being afraid, not knowing what to do, and that's not what you want to do. So anyway, here we go. So anyway, we're going to do a walk and talk video right now, and I actually have been out on this trail a long time ago, probably like a year from now. And so yes, don't fall for the bait. There's times out there in society, and this happens, this could happen with all types of people that we know in person, where, people set us up for the fall. People, sometimes people study us so well, our family members or even our friends, and they know us so well that they know exactly if they do something, they know how to get you to react or respond. And so that's what this video is about, is to, be mindful about how you respond or react to things that are going on in the world. And because I tell you what, it has a way of affecting people in so many different ways, and that's why it's so important. Like a while back, man, I'm trying to think of his name, but a man, I didn't even know nothing about the man until I heard, and by the time I found out who he was, he's already dead and gone. And so my heart goes out to his wife, because they were a young couple, and so and that was because somebody was out there talking about stuff, and somebody went out there and shot the man, and that's a shame that this is the way this life is getting to be, is people are not responding the right way, and instead they're reacting to things out there, and those kind of crazy things happen. So right now you got to really be mindful of what is going on out there and what kind of information you want to give to your children. If anything, be as honest as you can with your children, but you got to be, mindful of really how and what you say to them. Because you don't want them, you don't want to have fear that you have and then send it down to your kids, So a lot what goes on out there on the news, or even, things that we hear out there, is to get a reaction out of you. And that is what you got to be mindful about. Is, just like with COVID, they study people so much. They know, the news people do this, they've been doing this for a long time, is, even a really long time ago, when they had this, they thought there was an alien invasion really long. I mean, like, I don't even know what year that was. On the radio, they were just doing some kind of, well, that's what they say, they say they were just doing some kind of play. But now, people are discovering that, there's more of a possibility that aliens are real now, so it makes me wonder, was that really a play, or, that they did long time ago, or were they just testing people to see how they would react if they really thought that aliens were really going to invade the planet. So, and because they've studied people so much, they know, that people are going to react a certain way. Just like with COVID, there's different levels to that shit that was going on. Everybody reacted a different way, to COVID, or responded a different way. Not all of us, reacted or responded the same way. So, and that's why you don't want to fall for the bait. It's all a trick. It's all if we all just acted like this was nothing right now, it's because they got people that turn on their TV, and, they can't, they're in fear mode, they're afraid. And, that feeds these people, you're feeding them, some food, is because they want you to turn on that TV. Like when COVID, I knew a man, I was like, holy shit, I didn't watch the news. I didn't watch the news. But with that COVID, and that wasn't the only person I knew during that time, is wow, a lot of people, they were glued to the news. First thing, I used to clean for people in houses and stuff. And one of the ladies that came home that I was cleaning for, she couldn't wait to get in the house because she wanted to hear the next new thing that they were going to talk about on the news about COVID, So this is no accident that they do these things. And that's why, we need to really also help our loved ones through this time, and a lot of, just like with the COVID thing, when that was all going on, what people do is they pass their fear to other people, and and everybody passes, it's just like if you got, and this happens all around the world, you could hear on the news, and this just recently happened out in this area, and I thought it was so funny. I was like, oh my, I can't believe it. Because it was going to be the coldest temperatures this area ever had in, like, who knows how many years. And so the whole town panicked. And the day before, I went into Walmart like the day before, and I'm like, I had a hard time finding a parking spot. I'm like, what in the world? And I went in the store, and I was in Walmart. All I needed was one thing. And I was like, it was hard to go shopping. The lines were all full. People were all over. You would have thought it was the end of the world right there. But no, it was just because, it was going to be really cold out. And I laugh. I'm like, I couldn't believe it. They were in that panic mode. And so these people, they know this, so you really, and these things spread, so when, it's crazy, I actually will tell people every day, oh, isn't it a beautiful day? Every day is a beautiful day. And just the other day, I said this to another lady, because I say this every day to somebody, not the same people. And I'm like, oh, isn't it such a beautiful morning? I do this. I sing to people when I meet them, especially if it's morning time and it's a beautiful, even if it's kind of a cloudy day and the weather's, it's not cold out. I'm like, it's a beautiful morning. Ah. And there's going to be someone out there that's like, oh, it's beautiful today, but you wait. Now, I just had a lady do this to me the other day. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. She goes, oh, it's beautiful today, but you know what? In 10 days, 10 days later, it's going to be really cold out. But, this is the problem. We need to stay in the now, in the present moment. 10 days, you don't want to let that fear control you, where we all know that the weather is not always accurate, and the weathermen can tell you about the weather one day and it can change. So you don't want to go and say, oh my, there's a big storm coming. Now, of course, if you're in areas, that a good storm, be prepared. But, a lot of times people are sending that fear to, they go out in the community and, they're like, oh my, yeah, there's going to be, like in New York, when I lived in New York, there's going to be a foot of snow coming up, and people would panic and they would go around and they would spread that stuff around like a virus, a fear virus. And then, you wonder why the news people, if we'd stop giving them so much attention when the news comes on about all this stuff. Imagine if everybody just turned their TV off, and ignored all this stuff because they create this stuff. They'd be like, wait a minute, this is no fun anymore. Nobody's actually, it's just like Facebook, TikTok, or YouTube. Everybody wants to get, all these views and, and the more, just like any YouTuber or Facebook, people want to have their channel explode, because they got the most views. Well, we're doing the same thing when we watch the news, is to, we're feeding them that info, and they feed off of that. They're like, wow, yeah, look at that. We got, they got all these different news channels, and they're all like in competition of who's going to, get more views on their TV, on the news, So imagine if we, reversed everything, instead of, not doing that. Of course, everybody's afraid to do that, because be like, but Starlight, we won't know if there's going to be a storm coming. You totally missed exactly what I was trying to tell you. If anybody did get that, please leave it in a comment down below. Did you get that or not? But because fear, that's the whole thing. They feed off of your fear. But if we don't give them that power, if we, so I'm not saying you can do whatever you're going to do, but we got to be careful, because a lot of people, they do, when they hear something on the news, they could go into a store, somebody's like, so how's your day? And sometimes it's scary to ask people how your day is, you just might hear it. Oh, it's okay, but man, we're going to get, this storm's going to be coming. And we do, in life, we have storms that we have in our life without the weather, and so we have to not, if we face even those kind of storms in our life without fear, and that's what God is teaching me on this mission here, is to, stay in the present moment and trust that everything is going to, God's going to take care of me. It's okay. I've had a lot of crazy stuff happen on this journey here, with my car and being stuck somewhere. The more I had this happen to me, now it doesn't, it's like, oh, okay. I might be stuck somewhere for a month, but I'm not panicking like I did in the beginning when I started out on this journey. So we don't want to, keep on sending all this fear out in the world and our family. Is be mindful of how, kind of like a volume, is turn the volume down, on this fear. Instead of cranking that fear level up to full volume, is let's turn the fear volume down and not be so afraid. If there's a lot of people, they say that they're believers, they say they're Christians, but then when these kind of things happen, are they acting just like everyone else relationship with God. So we gotta let love guide us and not fear, and don't let the things that are on the outside control what's going on the inside of you. And by sending fear out to other people, um, that's gonna just spread that fear virus, and other people, so just turn the volume down. Starlight loves her music loud, but when it comes to all this stuff that's going on in the world, let's turn the volume down. Maybe not to watch the news so much, because I know you're afraid that you're going to miss something, right? See, that's why they love this. See what I'm saying? They love this. Just like during COVID time, because they got your attention. They got your attention, and they know it works. And Starlight hasn't watched the news, and I don't even know what year it was, when the last time I watched the news, So we got to really go within and focus on what's going on inside of us and start really getting right with God, about some things, because if, man, imagine the whole world if we just start getting right with God, that all this stuff going on out there wouldn't even be existing, if we didn't pay so much attention to, they want us to freak out and go on the news and, the titles, just like on a YouTube channel, people got to have, like a title to get your attention, to draw you in. They do the same thing with the news, and the pictures, like I make videos, but, like the thumbnail, it would be a thumbnail for a YouTube creator, the picture that you see when you push the video, so they know what they're doing. They want to draw you in. They want you afraid. These people, they don't care about you. They want to put you in a fear mode, so I love you so much is let's just turn the volume down, and not let this take over, like the being afraid. If you are somebody that loves God, ask God, please, help me not to be afraid. Help me to trust in you, that you're going to take care of me and my family, Pray for the people out there, Stop, like spreading this around like a virus, A lot of people already know what's going on, and, they want us to go and talk to other people and add more stress to people's lives. These people, they're not really people, but the people that are, these entities that are out there that are doing all this, they want you to lose your mind. They want you to lose your cool. Let's reverse it. A lot of things in this life, if we reversed it, these things wouldn't even be going on out there. But so anyway, I love you so much. So let's turn that fear volume down. Be careful of who you're going out and talking to. Because that's going to get your heart rate going, and it could cause so many problems in your life, or even add stress to your family, by going out and passing all this information. And because the more attention that we give it, the bigger it gets, and that's what they want, So anyway, I love you so much. This is Starlight. Namaste. This is Starlight. Love, light, and peace. Thank you for watching my video. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, plus give me a thumbs up, and you can leave me a message down below, beep, beep, beep. Plus, you could share my videos with your family or friends, and don't forget the notification bell, and check out my playlist. And you can also find me on Instagram at 1995 Starlight, or on Facebook, and that is Kathy with a K, Dingman Starlight. Thank you for watching. This is Starlight. Namaste. This is Starlight. Love, light, and peace.